am Tricia Khun, and this is my Asian American story. I was born in Simi Valley, California, and grew up in Moore Park, California, and then my family and I moved here to Hawaii when I was about 10. And even though I was born and raised here in America, my family roots actually come from Cambodia. When I was younger, I didn't really know much about Cambodia at all. I didn't even know where it was located on the map, let alone the language and the history. And not knowing about Cambodia wasn't out of my own ignorance, but it was more because my family just never talked about it. My dad just never talked about his memories of Cambodia or what he remembers. Like a lot of Cambodian families, there is such a stigma that surrounds talking about the genocide and what happened throughout the 1970s. When I was in school, we didn't really learn about the Cambodian genocide and what had happened. And then when I got to high school, we also didn't really learn anything about Cambodia either, except for the fact that there was only one paragraph in my textbook, in my world history textbook. I saw a small picture of a bunch of skulls and then a small paragraph below it that had a description of the man who murdered almost 2 million people in Cambodia.
Cambodia, the land of gold, ancient land of kings and temples, a rich blend of history, culture, language, art, dance, and food. But most importantly, a land of beautiful, vibrant, and resilient people. Recent Cambodian history saw a genocide of 1.7 million people between 1975 to 1979, brought on by the regime of Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge. Over 21% of the Cambodian population were starved or tortured to death under this merciless and misguided regime. Fast forward to 2011, and over 200,000 Cambodians live inside the United States. Most of them were born in the U.S. and have never been back to Cambodia. They are the children of refugees and asylum seekers fleeing the killing fields and refugee camps in the late 70s and early 80s. These children of the genocide years are Cambodian Americans, educated as Americans but bicultural from their collective family history and culture. They also carry the scars of the killing fields from their parents' own experiences, stories, and sometimes silence and depression. They have one foot in modern Western culture and one foot linked to a rich yet tragic historical path.
And then a few years down the line, I came across an opportunity that was sponsored by the University of Hawaii at Manoa's East-West Center. And I was still a high school student at this time, but this opportunity allowed high school students like myself to apply for a chance to win a volunteer trip to go to Cambodia and learn more about the Cambodian history, the language, and the culture. And unfortunately, I didn't get selected, but throughout the process, I learned so much. My dad even opened up a little bit more slowly every single day. And then we started gradually talking more about Cambodia and actually integrating it into our dinner conversations and going from the point of not knowing to the point of actually knowing a little bit more about Cambodia was a really drastic step.
When I walked over here, I saw her, I called her. I said, Mom. And she pretended like she doesn't know me. You know, because Papa, you know, so real, like, I said, Mom. I called her home. I seen her 3 times. 500, she said, oh, yeah, that's you. I said, yeah, that's me. And after that, you know, she told me, come, go inside, right inside the hut. And I go inside, I said, oh, you know, I just came from US. And she said, oh, yeah, I know. And she said, oh, because, I said, oh, what happened to your leg? I asked her, right? She said, oh, I have, you know, like, some bug by her. I said, oh, I have an ointment, you know, I gave to her. She put ointment there. I said, I woke up, you know, I said, oh my God. Yeah. 3 or 4 times before she, but she know that I call me, but she pretend that she doesn't know me because she's scared of people around her. It looks so real, you know. And after that, I always said, oh, I need ointment if you have one. And I said, oh, yeah, Mom, I have that, you know. I said, yeah, do that. And after that, oh, you know, you are awake. I said, oh my God, I'm so shaky.
My dad actually came here to America in the early 1970s, all due to my grandmother. And I've heard stories about my grandmother and how she went to a fortune teller. She asked the fortune teller if her son is going to be okay, and the fortune teller said, no, he's not going to have a better future here in Cambodia if he stays here, so you have to send him somewhere else. And so my grandmother bought a plane ticket for him to originally go to France. But then my dad met a guard at the Cambodian airport, and the guard told him, you know, why don't you go to America? Why are you going to France? There's nothing over there. So my dad took his advice and he flew to America at the age of 24 years old with no parents and barely no money to buy any food. He applied as an ESL student, and at the same time he was going to school full-time, he was also working part-time as much as he could so that he can buy food to eat. Being able to go through that process of doing all the research and collecting all these family stories that my dad had never talked about, my family had never talked about, it was really, really interesting to find out about my grandma, about my auntie, about, you know, all these amazing people, about Cambodian history, about everything about Cambodia. It was devastating and shocking to hear that something so terrible had happened, but at the same time there was this heartwarming feeling that I finally knew where I came from and who I was. So going to Cambodia for the very first time and seeing my family, seeing where my grandmother was buried, giving her this beautiful Chade ceremony was very special for myself and for my family.
Chirok kraum lup tung prasad angko thật thế cùng vùng Chirok kraum lup tung prasad angko Phnom Penh ơi nhom chuột nẹng vinh hai tóc sọc nẹng ban sbai đường pro lưng ơi Phnom Penh ơi Phnom Penh ơi.
This month, the month of May, is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Share your Asian American story in the comments below, or send me a message on any of my social medias with the hashtag #OurAsianAmericanStories. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe below. Hope you all are having a lovely day. Be kind to each other, and I will see you next Saturday when we're going to make another video. Bye!